Well, hello, and welcome to another week of wild and wacky chit chats with the twins. And as you can see, today I am flying solo. My name is Krista, and I am one of the twins, and Kara is my twin sister, and she's not with me today on the video. So I just want to make sure I can see you guys on here. Give me 1 second. And I called this week's episode, How Can My Awareness of the Spirit World Contribute to the Earth? And so, not surprising that we call this Wild and Wacky Chit Chats, because we like to talk about stuff that maybe not other people always like to talk about, want to talk about, stuff that's really kind of taboo to talk about. And so, talking about the spirit world is definitely one of those things. Hello, my mama. There I am. And hi, Nicole. Nice to see you guys on here. Anyways, talking about the spirit world, and I don't know, it's the month of October. So it's the one time of year that talking about ghosts and goblins and demons and all of that stuff is kind of more normal, kind of more accepted, but really not in the way that I'm going to talk about it. And it's been a year since Kara and I went and took the Talk to the Entities course, which is an Access Consciousness Facility class that is taught, and it was founded by Shannon O'Hara. So a lot of what I'm talking about is stuff that I've learned through Talk to the Entities and through a lot of her information that she has. And Marilyn says, I see you and I see you, and it's awesome that you're here. And so the spirit world, well, how can that contribute to the earth? So to begin with, I'm going to ask that everyone drop their barriers. So if you have never watched one of our shows before, a barrier is all of these points of views that we have, all of these beliefs that we have that keep us kind of in here. So it keeps us in this world where we can't see everything else around us. And despite the fact that we choose to have barriers up, doesn't mean that all of this other stuff isn't around us. We just have shut it out. So anything that brings up, I will ask you to destroy and uncreate all that. Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, pop, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. And again, if you are new to this show and are new to any access consciousness stuff, that crazy, weird thing I just said is called the clearing statement. And you can look it up at theclearingstatement.com, but it's just basically like a magical wand that takes all our points of views and just gets rid of them so that we can have our blinders taken down and we can be aware of everything around us. Good morning, annyeonghaseyo. So, okay. So the spirit world. I just want to take you guys to a place where you can see what it must be like to be on the other side. Not that I know, but this has really helped me to really want to learn more about the spirit world and really push down my barriers to the spirit world and invite that part into my life, because we are all going to die at some point. I hate to say it, but we're all going to die at some point. And so what would it be like if you were to die today? And so imagining yourself without a body, and now imagine what it would be like for you to be looked at the way that you perceive the spirit world, not believing it, being scared of it, like blocking it out. And that's what we do, like we all have this ability to be aware of the spirit world, but we have learned to shut it out. So imagine what that would be like if you were not recognized by everyone around you. It would kind of suck. And so what awareness have you subjugated to your body that you're not willing to have? You use your body as an awareness rather than you being aware. So how much do you make your body responsible for your awareness rather than you being aware. And everything that brings up times a gazillion. I now destroy and uncreate it all. Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. So, like I said, when we put barriers up around us, we block out what we can be aware of. But that doesn't mean it doesn't go away. And so I'm sure you guys have heard Karen and I talk about this before, that our bodies are within us. We are infinite beings. And so we are far bigger than our bodies, and our bodies are within us. And so we're like always aware of everything. As an infinite being, there's nothing we're not aware of. But when we have points of views, when we have beliefs, they are called walls, they are called barriers. And so then what we could be perceiving way out here from the spirit world, which would be really easy and really helpful, when we ignore that, when we put our walls up, our bodies can't ignore it. And so it comes into our bodies in many different ways. Spirit awareness can show up in a lot of different ways for us. And it can show up as aches and pains in the body. It can show up as anxiety. It can show up as paranoia. And it can show up as like a lot of mental health problems and also physical problems in our bodies. And that right alone there, like if you imagine yourself as someone that is suffering from severe pain and aches in your body, and probably lots of you have had this happen and are suffering right now. And what does that do to you as a person? It makes you frustrated. It makes you angry. It makes you resentful. It makes you feel hatred. And what is that? That is toxic energy that we are putting out into the world. And it's something that we can get rid of if we choose it, if we choose to open ourselves up to everything that is trying to contribute to us. And if we just acknowledge, if we ask a question when a pain shows up in our body, what is this? Is it even mine? Does it belong to me? Yes or no? And 99.9% of the time, it doesn't belong to us, and we can let go of it. And we can also be contributing to other things by acknowledging that. So when we die, a lot of people that die don't leave. They don't even know they're dead. And they stay back because they have a message to give to someone, or because they have a job that they think they still have to do. And so I might not get into the clearing of how to clear spirits so that they can realize that they don't have a body anymore, that they have died, and that they can go back. But by doing that, there's 3 things that Karen and I learned that you can do with the spirit world. You can clear them, you can communicate them, and you can receive from them. And so clearing them is 85% of what you only ever need to do at the spirit world. So if you can imagine that, if you can imagine all of the people without bodies that are stuck here, and we're not aware of them because we've got our blinders up, and so they're trying to get our attention, which would be an awful feeling, that nobody can see you, nobody can be aware of you, and that the only way that they can get our attention is through our bodies, with these aches and pains, with this paranoia, with whatever it is that shows up each and individually for everyone. If we're not willing to help these people without bodies go, they're all still here in our world. And when we free them, when we clear them, we create so much more space in our world, which is such a contribution to everyone and everything around us. And when we don't have to feel this pain in our body, when we don't have to feel this anxiety, we can become more of us, and we can be more aware of what is willing to contribute to us, and we can be willing to receive everything with no point of view. We can begin to get pieces of ourself back that are a huge gift and a huge contribution to the whole planet. So anything that this is bringing up or letting down, will you destroy and uncreate it all? Times a gazillion, right, wrong, good, bad, pop, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. And I'm really aware that it is a really uncomfortable conversation because there are a lot of points of views about it. I'm just asking you to just look through a new camera lens, just slightly shift over from where you have been functioning from, and ask yourself like where your beliefs came from. You know, why do you feel the way that you do about the spirit world? Is any of it even yours, or is it just stuff that you have bought as real and true from other people, from other lifetimes? And it really, like, it doesn't matter, but just acknowledging that whatever you feel doesn't have to be that way. It can change. You can make a new choice. And so that's just a little bit about like the spirit world, where the people that die without bodies are still around and can be released. And then there's also the great beings of light, which many of you are familiar with as guardian angels, just as angels. You know, you hear story after story throughout time about angels and how they've contributed to people in situations and changed people's lives forever. So I have this book called Beings of Light by Shannon O'Hara, who is the founder of Talk to the Entities, which, if anyone is interested in learning more or taking a class, like, this is just a very brief conversation about it. There's so much more to be learned from it. But I will post a link that if you want to take some of the classes from Shannon O'Hara, or there's facilitators all over the world. So no matter where you are, no matter where you're watching this from, there's people in your area that are teaching more about the spirit world that you can check out if you're interested. So I want to read this chapter called Beings of Light. So, dropping your barriers, even more, and even more. And would you be willing to just hear me out, just to listen to these words with no point of view, and just be open to receiving everything? Because we want the world to be a better place. And I hear people frustrated that the world is the way that it is. And I'm here just to share with you what I have learned, the information that I have been told, and hope that it can contribute to you so that you yourself can contribute to the earth in ways you've never considered before. And even if they sound a little crazy and a little wild, would you just be willing to lower your barriers and be an interesting point of view? So please relax as you listen to this, and relax even more too. It is extremely difficult to talk about beings of light. There isn't really a spoken or written vocabulary for their profound magnitude. The essence of this can be so easily obscured with words, so I will do my best here. Definition by definition alone limits. So let's not define, let's be aware. This is where we can enter into greatness and radiating light if we choose. This is where something greater is asked of us. If you are listening here, please be open. You must choose to know rather than doubt, to receive rather than take, and be happy rather than suffer. We are accompanied on this planet by the most splendid mega beings. Some have called them angels, others guardians, and now beings of light. Most have forgotten them, Others totally disbelieve, very few receive, and many cannot see. The beings of light are here to work with us to create greatness on earth, to enjoy the greatness of embodiment and flourish with life and nature. I just want to sit with that. It just expands my world so much. And I'm curious if it does yours too. This is where I'm going to get a little biblical. And truth be told, there is lots of information in the Bible about these guys. Our back ancestors knew them well. The great beings have accompanied man through all of our great achievements and epic fails. We are one race on the planet, and they are another. But you have to relax to hear this. So again, I ask you to drop your barriers and expand into the infinite space of being. So actually, let's just do this here. So imagine the space right outside of your skin. And just for this moment, all of your beliefs, all of your points of views, no matter how right they seem to you, in this moment, would you just be willing to drop your barriers and be open to receiving all possibilities and imagining the space right outside your skin and all the molecules dancing around. Now push them out into the room that you're in and go even further into the town, into the country, the continent, and the whole earth, filling the whole earth with you, including going down through the earth. And now pushing beyond that into the universe and going 100,000 miles beyond that, and 100,000 miles beyond that, and 100,000 miles beyond that. And in this space, you might recognize your spirit team is with you. And maybe you just might ask them to help you to just be open and receive. For some, being aware of them is simply too much, like staring directly at the sun. But once you can fathom and stand the light, the energy available is awesome. The greatness and kindness is all healing, and the pain that is so prevalent on earth vanishes. What would that be like? Relax. So, why do so many disbelieve or disconnect from these great beings? Because it would make them too happy. Is life on this planet dedicated to greatness, joy, fun, embodiment, and ease? Or limitation, pain, suffering, judgment, and cruelty? I think you could just think about the news and you might have an answer there. So many are invested in limitation, receiving from a magnanimous mega being who fully cares would simply not match that agenda. Nearly all entertainment is some story or sadness, pain, drama, violence, or cruelty. Makes me so sad. Would a movie or story about happy people with no problems be popular or boring? How often do we see reports of happiness on the news? Happiness that does not come from a perfect love match or winning the lottery, but rather a deep spring of self-happiness. Today, a woman in Denmark became so happy for no reason. Isn't it great? That's the sort of news I am interested in. When do we see hours of entertainment dedicated to happy people and their achievements? Grown-up people don't seem to be interested. Happy has little to no value here. Happiness is boring. It's pain that is validated. And actually, happiness is kind of offensive. And anything that brings up, will you destroy and uncreate it all, please? Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Look at the people, look at the lives of people around you. You could even look at yourself if you are feeling brave. What percentage of joy to pain or what is the percentage of joy to pain or sadness ratio? Of course, we like to tell ourselves that we are victims to the pain and limitation of our lives. We aren't choosing any of that. The pain and limitation was done to us by a cruel world. Nope, we choose it. Isn't it fun? Nope, not fun, and that's the whole point. That's the agenda here. No fun. And so all things that lead to joy and fun are eliminated or so heavily judged that if they survive, it's a bloody miracle. Let's get rid of happiness and fun sex. Judge your body instead. That's more valid. Food is the enemy. It will make you fat and sick. Don't enjoy food or your body otherwise will be a sinner. Having money come with total ease. That's weird and totally impossible. Be suspicious of money and anyone who offers it to you. Don't be vulnerable because you won't be safe. Be suspicious of anyone and everyone who offers you kindness. They will hurt you. Happiness is perverted. Repress it. Relaxation is dangerous. Use your mind. Figure it out. Work hard for it. If you think and feel enough, you can avoid receiving altogether. You're better off that way. When you receive, it's too uncomfortable for mommy and daddy. Stop being happy. Stop being you. Something is wrong. You are wrong. You will never be enough. Do you recognize any of these voices? And so we descend into the nightmare of self-hatred and separation. Oh, it hurts my heart even to say it all out loud. Well, who does this belong to? Who does this belong to? What invention are you using to create you as right and wrong are you choosing? And anything that brings up times a gazillion, will you please destroy and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Really, relax more. We are lost in a world where power is only permitted outside of oneself. To be empowered is so scary for people that they would rather stay in a limiting family, marriage, or job rather than become greater and change everything. As soon as you try to make something or someone outside of yourself the answer or source of your life, you have given up your greatest power and treasure. And yes, my friends, that is you. Relax and receive. It is this removal of self-empowerment that unplugs us from the great beings of light and from all consciousness that would and will conspire to support and work with us in life. The less you trust yourself, the less you can have what the beings of light can gift to you. The less, I'm saying this again, the less you trust yourself, the less you can have what the beings of light can gift. So welcome to the weird, magical, inconceivable trip of consciousness. Judge if you wish, it will only slow you down. Jump if you wish, you never know, you just might die or dive into the greatest possibility of your life. And anything that any of this has brought up or let down, will you destroy and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. I realize that it is a sensitive subject. I realize that it's going to bring up lots of stuff within you. And I ask for you just to be willing to receive it, just to be willing to trust, just be willing to be vulnerable. Be willing to be vulnerable. If I was choosing to be vulnerable with me today, what would I choose? And anything that brings up times a gazillion, I destroy and uncreate it all. Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. If anyone is not familiar with Kara and I, we have a separate private group that's called La Resistance. It's a free group, and anyone is welcome to join. And that's we do right now. We're doing a 30-day question. We say it 30 times a day for 30 days, and it is all on vulnerability, practicing putting your barriers down and receiving more so that you can be the gift you truly be, so that you can get back the pieces of you that you have cut off, folded, bent, stapled, and mutilated so that you could just fit into this reality. And so being vulnerable, it takes a whole lot of aggressive presence to slam your barriers down and to be something that you've never been willing to be before. So I just want to leave you with some questions that you can watch this again. You can write them down. You can put them on a loop and just play them over and over and over again. And by doing this, by saying these questions over and over again, it starts to bring up all this stuff, all these points of views, all of these beliefs that you've had that maybe were never yours. And maybe they were at one point and maybe they don't work for you anymore. So what it does is it rises it all to the surface so that it can just go. And then you have space and you have choice and you have infinite possibilities. And a great way, I will say before I say these couple questions, is that getting your bars run is such an amazing way to start to go in and it's like cleaning the hard drive of a computer. So all of our stuck points of views, all of our beliefs, all of these things that we've held on to, the bars is meant to go in and just reprogram that, to get rid of the points of views. And I am so happy to announce that Kara and I are hosting next month, November 14th and 15th. We have the most wonderful woman, Catherine Oster, coming to Davidson. She's an Access Consciousness facilitator, and she's going to be teaching the bars. So then you can learn to do the bars on other people. You can do the bars on yourself. And then once you take the bars, then you can take some of the other Access Consciousness classes, like Talk to the Entities, which dives more into the spirit world and just helps you to see a world beyond this reality that you've never known before. Stuff that we've never been taught that we should have been taught from our day of birth. And so I will post the link to that. Also, Shannon O'Hara does a really amazing video. It's an introduction to Talk to the Entities, and it's free. I'll post it here. And she just answers a bunch more questions that you guys may have. And she might just bring awareness to stuff that you already are aware of that you just aren't knowing that you're aware of. So before I go, I'm just going to say a couple questions. And you can take them, you can leave them, you can do whatever you want with them. But asking again to drop your barriers. And even more, and even more. What are you pretending not to know and denying that you know about entities? And entities is interchangeable with spirits, ghosts. Everywhere that you're pretending you didn't know and denying you know, will you rescind, revoke, recant, reclaim, renounce, denounce, destroy, and uncreate it all times a gazillion, right, wrong, good, bad, pop, pop, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds? What does awareness of entities mean to you? Destroy and uncreate all of that times a gazillion, right, wrong, good, bad, pop, pop, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. So you can run the above process repeatedly until you have no more answers and you feel spacey. So I'll say that one again. What does awareness of entities mean to you? Destroy and uncreate all of that times a gazillion. Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, pop, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. And what stupidity are you using to not be aware of what you are aware of that you are choosing? And everything that brings up times a gazillion, I now destroy and uncreate it all. Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, pop, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. And one of my favorite questions, everywhere that you have looked to other people to validate you and your reality, to create your life and tell you whether you are right or you are wrong, good or bad. Will you destroy and uncreate all that times a gazillion? Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. What stupidity are you using to not trust you totally that you are choosing? And anything that brings up times a gazillion, I now destroy and uncreate it all. Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. And finally, who and what are you defending for or against that if you did not defend for or against it would create total ease with entities and all your abilities in this area? Everything that is will you destroy and uncreate it all times a gazillion. Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. So thank you so much. For anyone that has stuck out this video, I acknowledge you, and I hope that you will take this all with your barriers down from an interesting point of view. And if you know anyone that you think that this would contribute to, anyone that you know that might be suffering from unknown aches, pains, anxiety, paranoia, that you think that this could possibly contribute to, would you please do me a favor and share this out with your friends or your family so that it can be a contribution for all mankind, for the earth, for our planet, and for the happiness of us all. Thank you for joining me today and have an amazing day. Bye-bye.